If you take a look around at what's going on in the world of motorcycles, you will get dizzy by the sheer number of bikes out there. And I'm not talking about trends or popular segments. What I mean is the number of classifications and subgenres. There's just so many. From automatic, scooters, mopeds, automatic commuters, sports scooters, classic scooters, underbones, sport underbones, dual-purpose underbones, semi-automatic, standards, neo-standards, neo-classic standards, sport bikes, sport adventures, enduros, urban enduros, dual sports, cruisers, sport roadsters, maxi scoots, maxi adventures, and then there's custom bikes, cafe racers, scrambled trackers. This is so many. They made a bike out there for every Tom, Dick, and Harry yet. What's cool about that is that no matter what type of bike you get, you will always find a group. You will always find a scene and meet new people. And with all of that motorcycle color all around the world, a certain shade of green is standing out with yet another neo-classic up their sleeve. This, folks, is the Kawasaki Z650 RS. The older, more powerful brother of the Z650 RS is the Z900 RS. A lot of people hold this bike in high regard. This is one of the bikes I used when I took some training over at the California Superbike School a couple of years ago. That bike left a very good taste in my motorcycle mouth. And this early in this feature, I will already tell you that Kawasaki was able to get the same recipe and flavor of the Z900 RS into the Z650 RS. Now, it's easy to brush off the mid-size segment, especially if you've already had a taste of bigger, more powerful bikes. But hang on, before you jump straight to the Z900 RS, check out what I have to say.
Oh my.
This bike is essentially a Z650 Sport naked. Same chassis, same engine, different superhero costume. On top of the very obvious physical and aesthetic difference in terms of function, they also changed the forks. Now, there's nothing to fret about. It may seem that they downgraded the front suspension, but actually these are still modern day performing forks that just happen to complement the platform and look of the bike. Don't think that you're getting a lesser bike. Not at all. The seat height is taller and we are now at 820 mm. That's a lot of foam right there compared to the 650 plank-like seat. If that bothers you and you're still not comfortable with the seat height, you have the option to go lower by 20 mm. The engine, it's proven and as reliable as the sun coming up tomorrow. Kawasaki's parallel twin will just keep on cranking. This is a big bore design, so revolution won't be as fast as smaller board counterparts, but it's part of the appeal of the RS. If you've ridden 80s and 90s standard Japs, you'll know what I mean. Only this is 10 times better. It's a modern day bike. We have cast wheels now. It was more of an aesthetic look decision rather than a performance move. Bosch ABS will help you stop properly. It won't be the most sophisticated ABS out there, but it'll do the job.
She thinks she missed the train to Mars. She's out back counting.
I can imagine using this in the metro for daily use. I can also imagine using this for out-of-town runs on the weekend. Power is adequate, especially if you're following the speed limit, which we should. However, on the racetrack, one can find the need or want for more power justified, especially if you compare it to its smaller board contemporaries. More so in the straights. But again, before you dwell into that, stop, park your bike, step back, take a good look, breathe in and breathe out. and admire your bike. As you see, it's not meant for that type of riding. Yeah, you can still enjoy this bike outside that speed freak zone. Handling for this is, I am telling you right now, way better than the Z900 RS. It's just more agile, more immediate, it's lighter, it's just a better ride for me. Ooh la la! The Z650 RX. The Z series of Kawasaki has been one of their best sellers. I had a Z1000 before. Okay din yun. That was a really, really good bike. And we have the RS series, the Z650, which is more on the classic side of things. Let's take a look and appreciate the stance of the Kawasaki. Moment of silence, 3 seconds. Okay, actually 4 seconds yan. So, right off the bat, Kawasaki quality or KQ. Paint job, metallic. I have to appreciate this. I don't know if the camera can do it justice. Let's go nice and close. You can see the sparkle. This is done really, really well. Of course, ang caveat natin with metallic, pag yan ay tinamaan at hindi kayo nag-ingat, ang hirap po i-retouch. But again, at the expense of pogi ka, diba? So I also like what they did over here. You got this extended plastic going underneath the seat, going out extended, and that's where all these lights are hanging. It just looks right, it looks nice. It looks retro, pero yung retro na alam mong pinag-isipan ng modern na tao. If I can say it that way. Normally, I'm very picky with the rear lights for neo-retros, but I wouldn't change this anymore. Although I can imagine this to be nice kung nilagyan natin ng tail tie diyan, yung wala yan lahat, and maybe mas tatago mo yung mga ilaw dito. But okay naman eh, di ba? One of my favorite things with the Kawasaki Z650 RS is the seat. Ganda na upuan, ganda na upholstery, and you have actual stitching here also. Hindi siya yung fake stitching. Maganda rin yung contrast. You got your sporty type of upholstery here na makapit sa yung pants, and you got your leather here. Although this is synthetic, it's still fine. It just has a nice contrast with it, right? Nice touch here on the strap as well. And I just want to appreciate the design cues that they have. Meron kang embossed mga, I don't know what you can call this, like shark gills maybe. And then it's also enforced over here, see? I like that. I like those little cues that they did there. Brakes, of course, we have ABS in the front and ABS in the rear. We're using Nissin brakes. And for our tires naman, we have Dunlops, ever reliable Dunlops. Recently, ginamit nila to sa track day. As you can see, track day pudpud right there. Gilid na gilid. So, yeah, Dunlops are pretty good. You're gonna get that when you buy the bike off the shelf. One thing I would request if there is an upgrade, I'm sure Kawasaki or aftermarket Kawasaki companies would have this already by now. If not, maybe soon. And I'm talking about spoked wheels for the RS series. Because if you're talking neo-classic, I think modern spoke wheels would look really good on this bike. What is also commendable with the Z650 is the headlight. It looks old school, but when you go close, LED siya, and you can see modern headlight siya. I'm gonna show this to you. There's your lights, and yung ating passing for headlights, and our signal light is also LED. And for the rear, there's our brakes, signal lights. So I just wanna appreciate the exhaust. A lot of bikes have been going here in the garage, and I've been seeing shorter exhaust already. And we're talking about stock short exhaust, meaning it's short, it's cut. You see the rear wheel, and it looks cool without compromising the performance of the bike or emissions, which is great. You know, manufacturers notice that a lot of custom guys, they cut the pipe, make it nice and short, but at the expense of performance, because they got to retune the bike, they got to make sure it's going to be working fine. But Kawasaki said, hey, we're the manufacturer, we can do what you guys are doing even better, and we're going to make it nice and short, and they are doing it fine. Let's take a listen. Doesn't that sound just awesome? Huh? In its context of neo retro, it is fitting, it is fine. You have a bit of digital going on in the middle. That's where it is. So you got the basics, your fuel, temperature of the bike, your gear, clock, and your odometer and trip meters. To your left is the speedometer, and to your right is the RPM. Pretty much basic, pretty heads up. Remember our friends who push for doble placa? Eto na yon. There's a provision for the doble placa. You can put it over there. I hope they figured out which size to put. It's not too big. Obviously, there's going to be a problem if it's going to be too big. There, doble placa ready. And it's done right. It's done fine. Another thing that I would want to protect in this context, because we live in the Philippines and sometimes we have a lot of debris on the road, I would find or look for like a radiator protector here just to shield it from little rocks here and there, right? So looking at this whole thing, it's a great mix of old and new. That 650 engine is tried and tested. It's fine. Got really good suspension as well. It's a straight up great bike. Now, is there anything here that I would change as well? A custom guy in me, looking at it, I'd keep it as it is, but I'd probably change the handlebars to something more streamlined that will not go upwards like this, right? If you see it from the front, you see it just going up. I would look for something like a handlebar that's gonna go maybe there. It's gonna go lower. Not too abrupt high, but something like right there. I think that would look cool, slick, and it'll still be comfortable. I would also change the mirrors. However, I have mixed feelings for this because the stem of this mirror is good quality. This is robust, it's good, it's beefy, and it's thick. However, it's this one that I'm not too excited about. So can you just change the top? No, you can't. You got to change the whole thing. So if you're gonna look for something aftermarket, yeah, look for something that's as thick as this, but with a better casing for the mirror, I think. I also appreciate that it's painted black. It's blacked out. You know, I'm not a big fan of chrome. That's why this bike appeals to me a lot, because the color scheme is great. Not too many shiny bits, well, except for the forks, but that's a given. And it works. Alright, brakes. Start with the rear. So, why is it important na kayo, pag may bago kami yung motor, na kailangan nyo maggamay ang brakes? You know, you need to understand your brakes. You need to know how your bike or your brakes behave. You need to know this. Para when you're braking, you know what to expect, diba? Let's go a bit faster. Interesting. I think parang progressive yung ABS nito, meaning alam mo yung force sa pahinto ka ng pahinto, mas nag-work yung ABS. How do I know this? It's because just right when I'm about to stop, you can feel the ABS working more. It's pumping more. So let's try. Zero skidding. I don't hear a squeak at all. Narinig ko lang is a schlep, schlep, clack, clack, schlep, schlep, clack, schlep. There's one little squeak. But how long did the squeak last? Siguro fraction of a second, 1/10 of a second maybe. Let's try the front now. Uy, may pusa, may pusa, may pusa. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. So, I'm telling you right now, front brakes ng Z650 RS. Matindi. This is really, really good front braking. To the point na I gotta understand it more, because until what point will it stop na ganun kalakas without you losing or maybe having a slight skid? Obviously, napapasipa ko naman yung ABS agad. Okay, good. I have encountered a bike na aangat mo na yung likod after braking hard before the ABS kicks in. Here we go. Nice. Very good. Oh my goodness, it's blippy. Is that blippy? Oh, it's blippy. Okay, faster now, front brakes. Okay, superb. No rear lift on the front brakes. ABS is working fine. Let's try both now. I was able to make the rear lift a bit. This is really, really hard braking. But I was only able to make the rear lift with, interestingly enough, with both brakes this time. But on its own, the front only, I seem to cannot make it lift. It's 70% more power in front, 30% for the rear. And braking power with both is just, this is really, really good braking from the Kawasaki. Now I want to look at the dipping thing. Is it gonna dip? How much of the front is dipping? So yeah, that's how strong the front brakes are. You can't make the forks in front I don't know how you're gonna make it compensate, but it's dipping. It's not dampening the front forks as hard. Some with abrupt braking in front, it's gonna be a gentle dampening of the front forks. You're gonna stop, like really stop with both brakes. No perfect bike out there, and if there is something I can suggest to Kawasaki on future versions of the Z650 RS is maybe they can still incorporate modern day amenities while still keeping it old school. I've been toying with this idea, now hear me out. What if we could have all the neat modern stuff like GPS, connectivity to the bike's CPU to monitor performance numbers, control modes, etc., all that stuff, but it's all gonna be in your phone only. Right? Dump it all in an app and just mount your phone. That way you can keep your bike looking classy and classic and cool while still being very relevant in the pool of advanced motorcycle technology. Just mount your phone with all the high-tech stuff in there and keep the gauge old school and analog. Unlike the Z900 RS that has a cafe racer version, with the Z650 RS, this is it, just one variant with different colors. Now, if I were to have a bike represent my personality, I will always lean towards classic looking bikes. I'm just like that. With all the Kawasaki's that I've owned, from the Z1000 to the KLS, the KSR, the Barako, the Bajaj, the W800, W250, I think I now have a new favorite. This bike is easy to love, easy to get along with, and a joy to ride. Something that Johnny Depp did not have with Amber Heard, and vice versa. Price $469,000. Some eyebrows may be raised with the emergence of big bikes out of China that are priced cheaper. Well, just think of it this way. That price tag has integrity, heritage, and tradition riding on it, with a reputation spanning decades. That's the price of Kawasaki. It's just the way it is. Plus, the resale value of Jap bikes are better compared to China bikes, at least for now. There you have it, Makina Moto Features. Thank you for watching. This is Sir Zach. Oh yeah, by the way, it's the Makina Moto Show, July 29, 30, and 31. 3 days, 4 halls, 1 motorcycle industry. Kawasaki will definitely be there. It's gonna be a great weekend. Lots of good deals, lots of discounts. I'll see you there. This is Zach, Makina Moto Features. Ciao.
Sageless, the women never comes. In love, sageless, the mothers milk their young, but I